Hey everybody, welcome to the
Creek
Creek this week.
Creek Week. So we're going to talk about Ephesians.
Yeah.
But before we do, we want to talk about a new youth group program. It's a fundraiser program where a bunch of little flockers will come to your house and make sure you get flocked by putting these pink flamingos around your yard. Well, really what you do is you pay the group to go flock somebody for you. And it's just a little gesture of affection and fun. You can also love you too. You can also buy flock protection, so some extortion in the name of Jesus. So get flocked. And there's a QR code here that you can scan, and all the information you need from our youth.
There was, I think, a mother flocker there too. So
Hey, oh, wow, that's awesome.
it's a big one.
A big one. All right, so we're talking about Ephesians. This
Yep.
is our whole new series,
Yep.
Be New. We're in week 3. We're talking about new ethics.
Yeah,
new
we're talking about
values.
living by a new standard.
A new standard.
Yep. And it's fascinating the way Paul introduces the whole topic. So we're going to get into this. It'll be kind of midway through chapter 4. And he says, because of Christ, live a life of love. And what's fascinating is in the original language, it's peripateau, which basically means to walk. So walking is synonymous. It's a flexible word, a metaphorical word used to mean live. And I think what's fascinating is that this is the place where we apply everything we've talked about already so far, week 1 and 2. Walk it out, in other words. We're going to walk this.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to do it while we're walking around living. And so how does the incredible identity stuff we talked about in chapter 1 and the incredible community stuff you talked about in chapter 2 and 3 translate into a new kind of way of living?
So, in other words, we were kind of in the world of ideas.
Yep.
And now Paul is going to say, let's get into the world of
Yep.
how we actually do this
Yep,
stuff.
exactly. So here's how it goes. Some really big stuff relating to your week. These huge ideas. You're now part of a kingdom, and you're part of a family, and you've been adopted. And you gave us 3 concepts. What were they?
Kingdom, family, and temple.
And
church.
temple.
Yeah.
And so we are that new temple. And it's not a physical thing built with bricks. It's a spiritual thing. Now, in this new temple, in this new community, we're supposed to solve conflict, Dan. I mean, it's so practical.
What?
It's like, yeah, don't let the sun go down in your anger. Don't give the devil a foothold. Speak the truth to one another. Like crazy concepts, right? Like that put all that practical energy into everything we've learned so far. He relates it to that too. Because you're united with Christ, why would you lie to someone with whom you are one in? Like you're literally now brothers, sisters, and if you've been redeemed and saved by grace, the idea of putting on airs and pretending that you are something that you're not is now passé. It's like, why would I if I'm fully accepted because I'm fully adopted by the grace of God? It gets further into our sexual ethics. We can live out this incredible narrowness of the Bible's sexual design, one man, one woman for life, or chastity outside of that, because we are united with Christ. And then there's a final part of that, Dan, that kind of talks about the way we are with our hands and our work. Are we able to work with our hands? Instead of we were stealing, we should not steal, we should work. And if we have resentment between each other, we should forgive. And he ties that all the way back to Christ. Well, why would I forgive you if you hurt me really big? And the answer is, well, Christ forgave you, duh. So that's where he ends chapter 4. And it's just so, again, the rhetoric in Ephesians, right? It's just so captivating. Be tender-hearted towards one another, compassionate, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you.
And this whole idea of walking it out, practical application of these things, is one of the things that makes the legitimate biblical Christian life different, right? Because there are all kinds of worldviews, and there are religious worldviews that exist almost entirely in theory.
Yes.
It's all just a great idea.
Yeah.
But not all of them get right down to the cobblestones, and it's like, no, this it has to do with, what do you say? Pie in the sky, by and by.
Yeah,
It's like, well, someday everything will be great, and it exists entirely in there. Where
Yeah.
no, Paul's giving us stuff like this is how to get through Wednesday,
Exactly, right.
not just your eternity.
We're going to do this.
We're gonna do this, and it's gonna
We're
make a
gonna
difference.
do this, and yep.
So that's we're midway through our series on Ephesians. Please come and join us 10 a.m. on Sunday
Yeah, that'd be
mornings
great.
right here at 7314 44th Avenue Northeast in Marysville, or
On the live stream.
yeah, you can join us on the internets, on the webs,
With the YouTubers.
with the
and
YouTubes.
Facebookers.
Or the kids are looking at that stuff now.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So we'll see you Sunday.
I tell you the truth, you know that?
Do you really?
Yeah.
Always?
That shirt is terrible.
Well,
Just
it
why would
also
you?
says you're supposed to be kind, so kind of mix that in a little bit. Give me a
Oh.
little sugar with that.
I'm sorry that you bought that terrible shirt.